Aloha, everyone. I hope you're having a good 3-day weekend so far. The stock market looks like it's still under a lot of pressure. Once again, like I said, since that Monday 824 session, since we did not finish at the high of the day, I believe that we will need to at least retest those lows before we can have any sort of meaningful rally. I stand by that assessment following the recent action of the past week. The NASDAQ on Friday, sell off, but volume was lower, obviously, ahead of a 3-day weekend. No surprise there. It's very normal. But don't forget, we still have the entire month of September ahead of us in the first 2 weeks of October. Still a historically and seasonally extremely bearish time for the stock market. So I don't recommend being a hero. And if you think that we're at an oversold bounce support, if you just look at MACD, you can still racing lower. No positive divergence. Same with TSV. Stochastics is rallying higher. However, if stochastics get to the overbought region and we don't have produce any price gains, that's bad, and that means that we have an extremely weak market. But the bottom line is that nothing really confirms that there's any kind of positive divergence there. The Russell 2000, same similar situation. Even as stochastics looks pretty weak overall, that's really the strength lies in the NASDAQ. So the Russell 2000, as you can see, there's no indication with our indicators that anything wants to turn anytime soon. S&P 500, MACD still racing lower, TSV trending lower, stochastics RSI trending lower, and once again, this index is closer and closer to testing its Monday's lows. And same with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. There's no positive divergence anywhere except for on stochastics, just like the NASDAQ. However, once again, that's not a good sign when the rest of the indicators don't confirm. So you want an across-the-board confirmation if you're starting to look for a low, and we don't have it. So I would assume that these markets are going to retest. And just the fact that longs aren't working anywhere, we actually got a long signal in a Brazil ETF, EWZ. I think that's Brazil, yeah. It's looking good, looking like it might be forming a potential bottoming pattern there, and BRZU was confirming it, especially with its huge volume surge and a surge in BOT back to max green. Thought, you know what, if anything, if we're going to try to play lows off of, any time you're looking to play lows, you want to have a few things. So you got the big volume spike. You got a sell-off on lower volume than the volume on the higher days. However, if you notice, what's the flaw in this pattern? Volume's above average on the pullback. But I was okay with it because of the tight trading range on this above average volume day and the higher close from the open on this above average volume day. So overall, I thought this pattern was quite strong. And then you'll see with the volume surge at the exact same low point, and then look at TSV, bullish divergence compared to price. Look at MACD, bullish divergence compared to price. Look at stochastics, bullish divergence. RSI, bullish divergence. So if you're looking to play the lows, everything is lined up. You got strong accumulation off the lows. You got a retest and a good confirmation. You got some strong green BOP, and you got positive divergence. And then what happens? Immediate failure. Rips through my first sell stop at 1932, and then rips through my final sell stop at 1890 to close at 1852 at the low of day on above average volume, with it losing its BOP. That is a 100% end of day sell signal, and obviously both of my sell stops were hit intraday. The only saving grace from this pattern from producing an actual decent sized loss is that we got a good fill in the morning since it gapped down to 2053. So it was a very insignificant overall loss despite the poor trading overall. And not only that, the scans were pretty thin. I had these are about the only stocks that really, I thought was interesting. You got EDN, utility stock. Ooh, the good old utilities. That's a bullish growth sector. Nope, defensive sector. But you got a pocket pivot point off strong volume, intraday reversal, confirming the previous August lows here on heavy volume. So EDN will be one to watch to see if it can start to trend higher. I wouldn't mind going long a utility stock as long as it's trending higher. So EDN is on watch. Also PLPM, this is a diversified services, another defensive sector stock that's holding up very well. Look at how tight the consolidation pattern is. Look at the extremely low volume, especially in the second leg of the sideways consolidation pattern following the insane Monday day. Big intraday reversal. The only problem is that BOP was starting to grow back here, getting near max green BOP. And now it's just falling the past 3 sessions. But overall, pretty good pattern in a bad market. I'm watching PLPM, a little bit of strength in the market, looking to set buy stops right above this intraday high here. And then for a possible bottoming pattern, DIOD, maybe this market will try to find a floor. If not, at least DIOD is one you want to watch as it's starting to show some strength. And then, of course, the small stocks. I always like to find small cap stocks that are showing some relative strength divergence in a weak market that could become, future potential big growth stocks. Hi-Ho, VLRS. These are all stocks that have some pretty, MSI is not one, but I just want to show you that MSI has got some strong accumulation on the right side of this pattern that it's building. Higher price stock, but this is a decent looking stock. Getting back to the small stocks, I already showed you KINS the day before. There it is again, still looking good. And then APL, this REIT stock, hospitality REIT stock, also building a right side of its base pattern with some accumulation. Not too bad in an ugly market off the 824 flash crash reversals. And then SMED continues to trend higher. But you can see that there's some smaller cap stocks out there that do give a little bit of hope that whenever this market does find a low, we can find some new leaders in this area. But still, they're so thin, it's going to be hard to trade them. And then intraday, I did have one sell stop hit. FDEF hit its final sell stop whenever it moved below 36.11. Of course, by the end of the day, it's come back. But you know what? In this market, it's not really a big deal. It'll probably fail here in the next few days. But FDEF did hit my final sell stop intraday. Just going through clerical notes. So that was it. FDEF and BRZU. No new long positions, no new short positions. Nothing was close. And if anybody's thinking that this market has found a low, let's look at stocks like GoPro. GoPro is rolling over to a new 52-week low on well above average volume. This is not a new low on lower volume. This is a new low on ugly volume with BOP going max red. So whenever I see stocks like this, beloved GoPro stock trading like this, that doesn't give me a whole lot of hope on the short term. And then looking at the FANG stocks, Facebook, does that look like a good pattern to you? Let's look at an arithmetic chart compared to its recent uptrend, Okay, so let's just compare its recent uptrend. Does that look solid to you? Amazon, does that base? I mean, none of these bases have looked good, and that's why I didn't go anywhere. I mean, look at it here. Finally took it a year to start to trend higher, started to do well, and we were long it. But now look at it, not too good. Netflix, another one that we were long. Look at it now. Compare it to its previous bases. How does it look now? I mean, compare it to any of these bases throughout the 2012, 13, 14, 15 uptrend. Not looking too good. And then Google, look at Google compared to the recent uptrend. Hasn't been, really, a tight trading stock. But now look at it now getting wild and loose. So, whenever I look at stocks like this, I Google and I see that I don't really see a good consolidation pattern here. When I look at Apple, I don't see a good consolidation pattern. Priceline, the bigger boys like Cisco, Microsoft, Intel, IBM, GE, there's just no signs of any kind of right side of a consolidation pattern forming. It's just ugly, basically, no matter, where I look, no matter what the stock. MasterCard, Visa, same similar pattern. Starbucks, McDonald's, Chipotle Mexican Grill, holding up pretty well, but just look at how volatile it is this year. I mean, it's been volatile for a long time. I mean, it's just, we just don't have the kind of consolidation patterns that you need to start a really strong uptrend. We're in the historically and seasonally worst month of the year, so take it easy, everybody, on this 3-day weekend and upcoming weeks into October. Whenever your best looking pattern out there is PLPM, which is pretty nice, but it's a $2 stock that overall is relatively thin. I guess it isn't that thin. It averages 200,000 shares a day, so it's not that thin really, but it's $2. And whenever this is your best technical pattern, and a stock that we're still long, HCKT is, but it's losing its max green BOP and it's going the wrong way. And when your better looking stocks are like KINS or Hi-Ho, that it's Hi-Ho, a bull market is nowhere where we're going to go. I really screwed that up. But bottom line is that it doesn't look good.